Hi, Matt. It's Margie from Basmati. How are you?
Good. Hi, Margie. Thanks for having me on here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Today we're talking with Matt Monarch from the rawfoodworld.com, and he is amazing. He's been in the raw food industry for over 20 years, and so he's going to share a little bit about his story and how he got where he is today and what he's so passionate about and why he's so passionate about it. Go
Absolutely.
for it, Matt.
Okay. As you know, I am the owner of the rawfoodworld.com, which is the largest online raw foods and superfood store in the world. And I live in Vilcabamba, Ecuador, which is known as the land of longevity. The air quality is amazing out here. We do raw food retreats out here. The soil is mineral rich. And I've literally seen people come to our retreats and heal from diabetes. There was this one guy, his name was David DeLuca. He has his own YouTube channel now. He came like 300 pounds. He actually came a week early and left a week late of the retreat. Within 30 days, he lost over 30 pounds. Within a week and a half, his diabetes went away. He was even drinking carrot juice and eating bananas. And he was, his gout went away, his depression went away, everything in a very short amount of time. And I've seen this happen a ridiculous amount of times. I've traveled all around the world and given many speeches, and I've seen people heal from all sorts of degenerative diseases. Anything from arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis, MS, there was even a case. Lots of cancer patients have healed from cancer. And the list goes on and on and on. It has the potential to work big time. And so I guess you were asking me my story of how I went 100% raw.
I just have to say, when you were telling me that story about David DeLuca, my eyes teared up because I've worked in the health industry for over 28 years, and to see someone shift their life so quickly is one of the best gifts we can share with people. So thank you for that. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and actually, there's people who come to our retreat not just for healing from disease, they heal. It's only 2 weeks too, but people are losing, like one person lost 17 pounds, people are losing 13 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds. If you look at our website, therawfoodretreat.com, you'll see like our videos and people getting on the scale and stuff like that. It's pretty profound.
That's so cool. Plus, they're also like raising their consciousness, even if they're not aware of that, right? You know?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Anyway, so how did you...
Speaking of that, the reason why I'm on the raw food diet is for actual spiritual reasons. When I first got into this, I didn't really have any degenerative disease. I was just trying to find myself. I was actually a young guy. I went 100% raw about 20 years ago. And I was just like, trying to find myself, and I came across a book, and I learned about raw food. I didn't even know it existed, and I was blown away by it, like how this man was talking about people were healing from disease and how people's lifestyle improved and how this food's no good for you, like refined sugar, processed starches, and things like this, and I was just blown away. And so I went 100% raw overnight and never looked back. And I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't like expecting anything profound, even though there's a lot of uncomfortable issues like detox and, that's a whole other story. But once as I continued to do that, spiritual things started happening to me. Like my focus improved, my senses improved. I could see more. I could see more clearly and crisp. My sound was better. I would breathe into my lungs without any obstructive mucus whatsoever, and I was just like blown away. And I was just like, this is it for me. And I just started following this lifestyle, and I knew I wanted to make a career in it, and I just took it from there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It really does. Like you said, you didn't start off going on a spiritual journey, but it ended up being a huge part of it, right? Which is so cool for me, especially because as your consciousness raises and mine, that spreads out. So very, very, very cool. So we got into some of the benefits of a raw food diet. What would be some simple suggestions for people who are interested but might be cautious and intimidated by that?
Yeah, so it is, I mean, just for someone to go vegan is very socially awkward because you can't go to restaurants and things like that. So going raw food can be even more extreme. And then there's the fear of like, okay, all I got to do is eat, all I get is celery sticks and carrots and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I'd like to share a concept real quick.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of diets out there today, and I'm sure you've heard of many of them, such as the Zone diet, the macrobiotics diet, the ketogenic diet, the South Beach diet, the blood type diet, the paleo diet, and the list goes on and on and on. And the creators of all these diets, they claim to get results. They're saying people are losing weight, healing from disease. And to be honest with you, I've actually seen a lot of people do a lot of these diets and heal from disease and lose weight. And there's one common denominator on why they all succeed. And that common denominator is they all eliminate certain foods from their diets completely without any exception whatsoever. And the crazy thing about it all is all those diets that I just mentioned, they all eliminate the same exact foods, which are processed foods. This is the cause of disease. It's not really eating enzyme-rich raw foods that heals you. It's actually eliminating the Twinkies, all the stuff that causes disease. It's more important what you don't eat than what you actually eat. So what I like to tell people is raw food is great, and I recommend it to a lot of people, but it's not the easiest thing on a social level, on a detox level, and things like this. So the main thing is to eliminate processed foods and to eat a healthy, clean diet. And so I recommend a person if you could do raw foods, that's great. But if you can't, even a cooked whole foods diet could work. I've seen thousands of people heal from disease even doing a cooked whole foods diet. And there's many different types of foods on a cooked whole foods diet that a person can eat, and it can be pretty abundant.
Can you give some examples of that? That's actually, I was going to ask that for anyone listening who may not even know what that is, right? Right. A cooked whole foods diet.
Yeah, sure. I just have to be a little bit careful here because, okay, so real quickly, what are all the foods that they eliminate first, and then we'll go into foods that you can eat. All these diets, so there's many statistics out there it was about 200 years ago when, like in 1800, when disease started to pick up, like the obesity rates and everything like this. And what happened in 1800 was they discovered how to refine sugar and flour. And the food statistics show that the food consumption in 1800, each human being ate about 7 pounds per year when it first came out. In 1920, it went up to 50 pounds per year per person. And in 2013, people are eating 100 pounds of sugar per year, which is absolutely crazy. The average is about like 13 to 24 tablespoons a day per person. Like a can of soda, it has 3 tablespoons of refined sugar. And Gary Taubes wrote a book called Why Are We Fat? And in this book, it shows statistics that as soon as third world countries are introduced to refined sugar and flour, the obesity rates go up, disease rates go rampant, and things like this. So the two main things that all of these diets eliminate that we just mentioned are the refined sugars and processed starches. It's not rocket science. They just eliminate that. And then all these diets, they create different rules. Some eliminate more foods than others, and some change, they make different rules and stuff like this. But they're basically all the same. Anyone could just eliminate the processed foods and create any type of fad diet that they want. But to get back into this, so many different foods that are on a cooked whole foods diet. I know. So we can look at things like brown rice, baked potatoes. I get a little nervous talking about animal products such as eggs because I know that some people are into veganism and stuff like this. And from a moral standpoint, that could be something that somebody wants to do. But from a scientific standpoint, like eggs and stuff like this are, it's a whole food. And it could be very healthy for a person if they want to get the protein, omega fatty acid.
Or especially if they're in a transition phase, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's brown rice pastas, there's quinoa, there's millet, there's buckwheat. If you're okay with the animal products, goats, cheese, and milk, done in an ethical way. That's pretty much along with all the raw food you can possibly eat. And then beans. The list just goes on and on.
So I'm going to go a little bit into, which I want to thank you for sharing that, because it really is just, we can start by the simple things of taking out the processed foods and sugar. I mean, that to me just seems so more natural than anything, right? But it's like you go down to it's funny because I was in Europe and you go into the market and they might have like a few bags of chips on the counter and they're making their bread fresh right there, right? And you walk down into the market in the United States and it's like you have an aisle of chips, an aisle of chips and an aisle of soda. And I'm thinking, and I still get a little taken back by that because we have a market for that. And these people, we haven't figured out yet, or some people haven't figured out yet that is actually the cause of what's happening to us, right? The autism rates have gone up, and that's a whole different story. But the cancer rates you can't talk to anyone without them knowing 2 or 3 people right now who have cancer or have passed of cancer, right? Or diabetes. The list goes on and on and on, and it is definitely food related. With other things as well. But so what's really cool about your site, and do you ship most products everywhere? Can I ask that?
We ship everywhere.
In the United States and other countries as well?
Yeah, if they want it, the shipping's a little bit more, but we also have a store in Europe that's online, the rawfoodworld.eu.com.
Okay, perfect. That's great to get that out there. So you have a plethora of products. Like it's sometimes I get like, oh my gosh, I get the emails and I'm like, oh, I want to try this. I want to try this. Tell me a little bit about where you source your products and how that works.
Sure.
And how you find the highest quality. Yeah, I am.
Yeah. If you want to be on our newsletter list, just go to the rawfoodworld.com and put your email address in one of the join the email list fields. Yes, we have all the raw food products you can possibly imagine for people, like all the fun stuff. We also have the superfoods that you're probably wondering where we source them. I'm in Ecuador here, in Peru, which is a neighboring country. Many of the superfoods are sourced from there. We actually have maca fields, and we go to small farmers. For example, our cacao products are the best available, our raw chocolate products. You have to go to Peru, you go to Machu Picchu in that type of area, you got to drive in the jungle, it's pristine. To get to our maca field, it's 13,000 foot elevation, you have to drive 16 hours in pristine environments, and then you get there, the water we clean the maca with is spring water. The factory is right next to the field. The workers are extremely happy to be getting this business, and they have smiles on their face. They like hiking up the mountains and picking the maca, and there's no GMO stuff or anything like this. It's pretty crazy what's out there, though. I've seen other superfood companies that use factories in the city. We've been presented organic maca the size of a basketball that has been loaded with fertilizers and stuff like this. Maca is supposed to be a ping pong ball. There's 10 different grades. There's 10 different grades of maca. There's rejects. There's all these other things. We're always getting like the AAA grade maca and different things like this. The reason why superfoods are so beneficial is because the soil has been so depleted in first world countries. It's absolutely insane. So, like for example, our camu powder, which is sourced here in Peru, is the highest content of vitamin C than any natural food on the planet. You probably have to eat like 20 oranges, and then you get the oranges from Ralph's or Vaughn's or whatever market you are in the United States. Were they ripened on the tree? Did it get its full spectrum of nutrients? Like, you could seriously take a quarter of a teaspoon of our camu powder, and you're getting like 20 oranges worth of vitamin C in a quarter of a teaspoon. So it's kind of like superfoods are pretty godsend right now for what is happening in today's world. And so, yeah, we just have the highest quality available foods on the planet in our store.
Yeah, you said something about the cacao, and I have to tell you, I had the Berkeley bar and the salted caramel chocolate bar, or that one. Oh my gosh. I actually bought more and gave them away as gifts. They're so delicious. Like, everything I've had is delicious, but that was like a very special treat, just so you know. They're wonderful. So let's go back a little bit. Let's give everyone just like one little tidbit besides taking out the refined sugars and the processed foods, like one great thing that might help them start their morning. Let's do that.
Okay, one of the best tips that we can give everybody is eat as many salads as possible. For example, bread, unfortunately, is a processed starch and is like probably the most tempting food to the human body, unfortunately. I know that's heartbreaking for a lot of people. But what you could do is, instead of like eating it depends where someone's coming from. People eat sandwiches or whatever. Instead, whatever you're putting in that sandwich, just put in your salad, or put a baked potato with a salad or something like this. But salads are key. They're so beneficial for the human body. Our beneficial bacteria eats off of fiber, and they create short chain fatty acids, which feeds our colon and feeds us. So it's really important. Like, lettuce is like one of the best things you can possibly eat, and you can eat as big of salads as you want. People put eggs in their salad sometimes, all sorts of different things. Like, or you could just do raw salads. But it's really cool to eat salads with eat as many salads as possible. That's my main tip of advice.
You know, I'll even, like, your coconut aminos are fabulous, right? Fabulous. You can make your salad not even look like your traditional salad. You can make it a wrap, you know, tossing a whole bunch of stuff in there and adding like your sauces, right? You know, and they're fabulous, and they change it up a little bit, and you get the crunch still, and you're grabbing something. Like, I'll make wraps all the time with lettuce, right? And for me it's fun because I'm getting to hold it, and I like touching my food. I was going to ask you something else. So one other quick thing: can raw food look pretty and taste good? I know it can. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at our retreat website, you know, our raw chef makes gourmet food, raw burgers, not like meat, but like, you know, vegetable burgers, crab cakes, you know, those, samosas, pizza, everything completely raw vegan. It can look absolutely amazing. We're always on our store. If you join our newsletter list, we're always coming out with cutting edge products in the raw foods movement to make it easier for you. For example, you're talking about the coconut aminos, and, you know, I could give you a list of different products that are always coming out. We have something called liquid smoke, which makes things taste like barbecue, and it's completely natural.
And it's delicious. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And our retreat's just a very good experience to like reset yourself. It's pretty much, people feel stuffed. They think they're going to be starved. There's so much abundance at our retreats that you're eating all this raw gourmet food, and it tastes so good. You're eating raw burgers and raw lasagna. It's just like so good. And they're like, am I going to lose weight even though I'm stuffing myself like this? Raw chocolate balls. And they still get on the scale at the end and lose anywhere from, 8 to, it depends on, if someone's not overweight, then they're not going to, But like,
they just feel
17 pounds in 2 weeks. Yeah, and they feel incredible.
And it's in Ecuador. And I noticed that we also get the opportunity to, there's yoga. I think you do some CrossFit there. Is that correct? Or right. So you also have the option to move and do other things, right? So
yeah, absolutely. people's skin look amazing. We go horseback riding. We're in Vilcabamba, Ecuador here. We go on a bike ride tour through local towns in Ecuador. We go to a sugarcane mill. We go to, like on that bike ride, we go hiking. We go into local rivers and get invigorated. There's a waterfall we go to. And like Sunday farmers markets that are like from the third, like if you've seen Aladdin, like they're walking through the markets, that's what it's like out here. It's a very fun adventure and healing adventure. The water is incredible out here. People's hair and skin just become beautiful by the end of it. It's just it's a good reset for someone to experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do also want to let everyone know that when I've had questions and called, I know that Chase does your customer service, right? Super fabulous. The rawfoodworld.com definitely gets back to you, and they're in open communication with you, which is huge, especially if someone has questions, maybe even about like your superfood kits or anything. That they've been very, very responsive, and that's a beautiful gift also that you share with everyone, because I know that some of the things, we have questions about and we can Google and search, but I know a lot of us still like to talk to a human being and get answers. So I appreciate that very much about the service that you do as well. So it's great, and the work that you're doing in healing and providing the highest quality that is out there. I mean, and I know that for sure. So Matt, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at the retreat, and thank you for taking the time out of your day. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Margie. I really appreciate it also.
All right. Thanks so much, Matt. Have a beautiful day.
Yep. You too.
Bye.